This is crazy. I'm currently flying a Cessna 172 over the mountains to Sacramento with my good friend, supporter, and old coworker Erik. You've probably seen him on the channel before. Now over the last 2 years, we've been fixing up his son Kirk's BMW E46. But now it's time to pass it back off to his son and go find one for himself. Now Erik spotted what looks to be a cherry 2002 BMW 330i. It's a 5-speed manual and it's for sale over in Sacramento. So Erik says, "Hey Alec, you want to go fly my plane with me to go look at this BMW? You'll be flying." How could I say no? So join us. We're going to fly from the north coast of California to Sacramento, see some beautiful sights, inspect a BMW E46, catch some good food, and learn to fly from a certified flight instructor. She's a good looking plane. Which side do you want me on?
You're on the captain's side, right there.
All right.
Left seat for you.
Okay.
Look at my feet real quick. Can you see them up there? So my heels are off the floor.
Yeah.
And that means I've got toe brake.
Got it.
Right? But when you're taxiing, you want to put your heels down on the floor so you're not skidding the brakes too much until you need them to make a little bit of a turn.
Got it.
You know, kind of thing.
So naturally you want to be heels off.
Power is your gas pedal. That's full throttle right there, which you don't want to start an engine with full throttle, and that's all the way to idle. So we start with all the radios off, and then once the engine's running and we know we have good oil pressure, then we'll bring the avionics master on, and then we'll be able to talk through these.
Got it.
Okay, here's the ignition key, that little kind of key, that's it. Goes into that starter area there. You got it. Key right there.
Keys on both.
Yep, and then grab the left key, with your left hand on the key, right hand on the power lever here, and we'll crank. Clear prop. Go ahead and start her. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, I'm off the brakes. You're
Okay.
on the power. Give it a little gas. I'll do the radios, and you can pull it right onto the runway. I didn't touch that. How's it going, man? We're gonna be like 3 hours or so, and I called and asked for a crew car, and I'd love for you to top this off. Thanks for the help. Boy, I gotta pee.
Oh, me too. You got a pilot's bladder though. You're well trained at this.
No, it's old.
Well, yeah, but. All right, gang, so we flew Erik Cescna from the north coast over here to McClellan Air Base outside Sacramento. We just got a loaner car from him, a Camry, so we're gonna load up the tools and camera gear in the car, then we're gonna head over, check out this BMW, and then bring it over to a local shop, put it up in the air, and do a full pre-purchase inspection on this thing for Erik, see if we can do some negotiations, get this car for a good price. All right, we gotta get the Cessna unloaded, but look at this giant Air Force jet. What a beast. I gotta throw a speed charge on the camera, and we'll see you guys over at the shop. 2002, so post facelift. Yeah. So we got the upturned corners. Looks like the valve cover's been done. There's a little bit of silicone here on the corners, down here on these little half moons. So it looks like it's been replaced. There's a new vacuum line here going to the secondary air valve, which is nice. So somebody was in there. Valve cover's dry. Serpentine belt looks decent. Not seeing any cracks. Oh yeah, we got nice blue coolant. First item, Erik, that I'm seeing is it looks like there might be a potential oil filter housing leak. If you see that banjo bolt down there at the bottom of that oil line, you see there's some oil saturation down there on the driver's side of the block.
I do, yeah.
So that's this oil filter housing assembly. I think we did it on your other 325i.
We did.
But it just mates up to the side of the block there with that rubber gasket. It's got the electric cooling fan, which is nice. Yeah, so oil filter housing is leaking down the driver's side of the block. Somebody must have gone in there and done it because it feels way too soft for it to be original. I'm thinking too, while we're here, I'm gonna probably pop that entire assembly out completely, and so we can pop that thing out. All right, so cabin air filter looks decent. Upper radiator hose connections look good. Not seeing any signs of any coolant leaks. Underbody panel on the front side looks pretty dry too, which is good, but more will be revealed when we get up underneath. I'm quite impressed by the headlights. These weather stripping pieces are still relatively intact too.
I love those.
And the getting a little bit of condensation in both of the turn signals, but you can tell they just washed the car. Yeah. Other than that, since we're right here, I'm just gonna rip this cover off real quick just to take a peek in the back. Okay, and that'll give us a little bit better view down the back for the intake. And then, yeah, I see some oil spilled down this passenger side too. So honestly too, one thing that's worth noting is this is super thick oil, almost like it's super sticky, almost like it's like a Lucas oil stabilizer or something. Right. You know, like a heavier weight oil stabilizer that they put in it. Yeah. So I'll just ask him when we can talk to him, because that's the hard thing is we're not going to be able to, we can't, based off inspection, we can't know truly if the car is consuming oil or not. We just have to take it at face value for what they tell us. Yeah. Okay, injectors all look original. Hardware's all there for the intake manifold. Heater hoses at the firewall look good. These oxygen sensor wires are supposed to be over here, and I'll fix that for them. I noticed there's a little bit of oil spilt on the top engine cover.
With the oil, they spilled it around.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, it feels a little bit thicker, like a greater than 530 consistency, almost maybe like a Lucas oil stabilizer or anything like that. Do you know if they put any products in? No. Yeah, I was just thinking whether it was like maybe a slightly thicker, you know, Lucas oil additive, or you know, some other product that increases viscosity a little bit. So I used to work for a BMW shop for 6 years, and then I joined the fire service where I met Erik, and then I started my YouTube channel about 2.5 years ago, and I've been doing that full time since. Cool. So I buy old BMWs, I fix them up, I show the process, and then recently I've been doing some BMW giveaways. I actually had a subscriber give me a 2002 BMW E46 convertible.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Did you? You saw the video? That was me. Sounds pretty good. Real smooth on cold start. I don't know. I'm pretty positive it's either an oil filter housing, because if you look down here too, you see the bottom bolt for the Vanos oil line. Gotcha. When these oil filter housings leak, they leak down onto the driver's side of the block. This one, so I would still suspect that it's probably oil filter housing leaking down on the side of the block, which is going down the side of the pan. I usually do them in conjunction with the oil Vanos line. Yeah, you got reverse, you got brake, you got tail lights, you got turns, and will you go headlights on? Do you have any rear bulb warnings? I think the license plate lights are out too. Was that your first time having one of my videos show up on your feed? Yeah. Tires are from 2017, 8 years. Brakes look pretty solid so far. I'd say about 60% in the rears, which wear down real slow. I like to slip an inspection mirror on that inside pad too. Love it. Because, you know, it takes all the force from most of the force from the piston. They usually wear down a little faster. Yeah. These fronts are too hard to get into, but that's like a good 70, 75%. Super meaty. Oil's brand new. Yeah, literally sure clear. Yeah. So.
They did it.
That's nice.
Recently.
Yeah, let me take a quick peek at the inside here. Let's take a peek in here. Door looks pretty good. No cracks in the wood grain. Just some couple little scratches, but the wood trim looks pretty good. Normal wear and tear on the bolsters, but overall they look relatively decent. Yeah, a little bit of dirt spot there.
Yeah, it's a little filthy.
And then the slider doesn't shut all the way because it's in the vent position.
This light's out.
Yeah, the headliner looks good. And parking brake's decent. It's a little on the high side, but it's not gonna be all dialed in like yours is after we did the rear parking brake shoes. All right, everything's checking out pretty good so far. A little bit of an oil leak, little crack in the windshield, xenon bulb out. But you're right, this is different, and it actually does have that split. It doesn't just have the cover going across. I've never really seen an E46 with the folding back seats.
So cool.
Maybe try a push. Oh, okay, motor was stripping right there. That's okay. So I think it's gonna go backwards to get the vent down. So it's pretty much stuck in the upwards position.
It is right now.
Because we tried to go down with it, and so I mean technically it needs to be forced into the down position before you can even have this car in the weather.
Yep.
So definitely some negotiation ability there. Like, hey, this car's coming back to Humboldt, consistently rains, the sunroof won't even close because it's stripping out, and so it needs to be addressed as soon as possible.
Exactly.
Carpets, let's see, it's got nice floor mats. Yeah, only you and me, only our cars are getting wet carpets, dude. SoCal and rest of California, that's not a thing. The interior is really nice. I don't even think this thing really needs seat covers. I think you could put some seat dye. These bolsters here on the side, I've seen some companies where they make custom colored dyes. You send them the color code for your interior package and you literally just rub it in and it basically stains all that stressed leather and turns it back to the original color. Just so you guys know, we're down at #1 Motorsports with Ethan and Mo here in Sacramento, California. So I was telling Ethan about what I was doing with the channel and told him about one of my most recent videos, and he's like, oh, the E46 convertible? Yeah, I saw it on my YouTube yesterday. Dude saw my video the day before we came to inspect this car. Just too funny. I was hoping maybe someone would have seen it. And so that's just perfect. So we just finished the interior, engine-wise, everything on the outside. We're gonna be driving it over to a local shop that these guys work with. And we're gonna get this thing up in the air so I can do a full inspection on the bottom side. And then all we need to do really is just plug it into ISTA, and then we're pretty much finished up. So see how things go. Let's start here at the rear, Eric. So biggest thing I like to look at on these, rear differential bushing. That's what causes a clunk when you're going from forward to reverse.
We did ours, yeah, I remember.
And you can see when you put a little bit of pressure, there's just, it actually feels pretty solid. There's a slight little micro crack right there on the back.
Yep, I see it.
So once those wear out, causes that larger rear end clunk, went from forward to reverse, but so far so good. Other things to look for on the rear ends here, E46 subframes, where they mount up to the body. It causes the body to crack, but everything's looking pretty solid. Other stuff to look at in the back here at the rear shocks, where that rubber meets that metal bracket, those will start to separate. And that's the rear shock mount. These look relatively decent. So the rear shock mounts look pretty solid. Has aftermarket control arm bushings in it. You can see that plastic piece right there. So they're not gonna wear out as fast. And so we got scratch marks on the inside of the wheel here, and we got scratch marks on the inside of the wheel here. The only way you scratch insides of the wheels is if you drive over something gnarly, maybe a curb, a parking stop, and get into a legitimate parking lot collision. That's why this driver's side tie rod is new. You can see by how far the nut is protruding off of the stud, and then here on the passenger side, that's an OE tie rod. That's original. And that's why this clamp is still original and this tie rod boot's been zip tied. Other than that, we got oil saturation at the oil pan here. So we have an oil pan gasket leak. Engine mounts are recommended too. Got some cracking and dry rotting up there. Up here you can see confirmation of the oil filter housing. Anytime they leak down, right underneath there on the oil filter housing, that's gonna be oil filter housing for sure. Coming down. #1 Motorsports. Shout out Ethan and Mo. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Dude, that's so funny. He saw my video with Gerardo.
That was a cool moment actually.
And next thing I know, we're inspecting. He was like, E46 convertible? I was like, what?
How'd you know that?
How do you know?
Yeah, Mo was pretty cool. They were both good dudes.
Yeah, Mo and Ethan.
Yep.
So shout out to Mo and Ethan for giving us 3 hours with the car.
Man, no kidding.
Because that's huge. So how can
I was saying, I couldn't believe when you pulled out that Makita or that drill started pulling that he didn't come running over and shut that down.
Yeah, you pull out the Milwaukee impact gun, start taking apart his car. It's listed for sale.
That was a cool moment. Yeah. But you found stuff even there that needed to be fixed. Okay,
yeah. Maybe we could just break this down into kind of like just do it regular 1, 2s, and 3s.
Yeah.
Oil pan.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're fast. Thanks.
Perfect. Yeah, there's no question we found everything.
100%. I mean, hood struts, trunk struts, mismatched tire.
Yeah.
The engine mounts, the differential bushing, the strut. So at least between the oil leaks, we had the oil filter housing, which is a 4-hour repair plus parts.
Yep. And that was moving a bit of oil.
So like right there, that's a $500 deal. Crack in the windshield, that's another $500 repair. Even just the power steering reservoir with the fluid, new hose clamps, let's just be generous and call it $120. oil pan gasket leak. Probably like I were to be doing this, you know,
Exactly.
because this is like 4 hours of labor plus parts for the oil filter housing. That would be at $100 an hour. But if you were to take it to a shop at a shop rate of 150 or
We're not talking dealer rates.
175, dealer rate would be 1,000.
Yeah.
But even like at a shop, that would bump it up to like 750. Both license plates are out. Passenger xenon bulb, that's even just like $120 from O'Reilly for a cheap O'Reilly part, which is pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
Trunk struts were a little soggy, but we won't even count the ones that are 3s. Mismatched tire, like, yeah, you could let that ride.
Wood.
And just wait for it to wear down. Engine mounts were definitely worn. The diff was actually decently cracked. And over time, it does create just a really ugly rear end clunk.
Right.
It just feels like someone's, you know, just
Blink.
Yeah.
Blink. Yeah.
hitting the underside. And that job is kind of a pain in the ass. It's like 6 hours of labor.
We had that one. We did that one before.
There's the crank seal that was leaking, and that requires removal of all the belts, and then you have to impact gun the crank pulley off, and then once you have the crank pulley, you can pick the seal out, replace it, and let's even be generous and call it $600 for the sunroof. And then the front end collision, we had damage on the inside of the wheels. The left front tie rod was replaced, but the right front wasn't. That's the big thing though, like for anybody out there that's gonna watch or listen to this, like doing a tie rod on just one side or doing a wheel bearing on just one side is never the move. And then right front, bottom bumper, pork chop, driver door lock relay. So let's just call this 50, 50, 500, 500, 120, 650, 100,
Calculator.
700, 200, 600, 150. Yeah, here,
Right.
you eat. I'll
You
punch it in
eat.
real quick. No,
You haven't taken a bite of even
basically
that.
just this row up here on the top. And that's not everything, but that's like fixing the stuff that would probably you'd want to be fixed.
Yeah.
What's that total on there?
Easy, super conservative. 35.50.
35.50.
Yeah.
And that's with some friendly labor and parts. And so, I mean, for sale it's $6,000 plus that turns into a $10,000 E46.
Yeah.
If you were to do all that stuff, even at this pricing, you still wouldn't make money
Yeah.
because there's no way you can get all those things done in a good way for that same price. In a car, even at that condition, at that price, you need money left over
You do.
for emergency repair and maintenance budget.
Things are going to happen on that.
And living back home in our climate, you can't have a stuck open
It's got to be
sunroof.
dialed. I learned
Really
so
cool
much.
experience.
Yeah.
Great to be able to fly over here. Really cool to check out the car. Grateful that we have the knowledge that we do though. So I think we can get you a better car for the price.
Yeah, let's keep a hunt out there. Find the right one. Too bad this wasn't one. I liked a lot of things about it, but just
It was a perfectly packaged car. Something cool about taking cars onto a runway. Just feels like it's forbidden. My dad always used to escort me onto the runway to go to the fire station at John Wayne.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was always like, this intrusive thought, just go drive on the runway. Just
do
go
it.
do it.
just drive on it.
Just do it. We got new
Dang,
neighbors. Wasn't the same low wing that we parked next to. I still feel uncomfortable walking under the wings.
Well, you should.
What are you checking up there? Just caps for fuel?
Make sure the caps are on and
Because they
make
fueled it up without us here.
sure there's enough gas in it. Never trust the gauges. We're ready to roll.
All right.
Yeah.
Pause.
It is. And then let's run your flow. You've flown this thing now, so you already know how to do it.
A little bit.
Let's start now.
Remember, one more thing each time.
Now look down the runway. Hold it up, hold it up, hold it up. That's it.
Boy, that is squirrely, man. I don't know how you do this for a living.
Just gotta practice. That's it. A little more. The scariest part of the day is putting this thing in the hangar without dinging it.
Yeah. Shit, scariest part of the day is you giving me too much controls on a landing.
Oh no, I saved him. I saved him.
I knew you had my back no matter what.
You
But
got it.
You want me
I
to just
do.
push on the strut?
Yeah, push on the strut. And we're gonna get it lined up in there, but not push it all the way in yet.
Okay.
Just check both sides, make sure I'm symmetrical. Now go. Good.
Smooth.
Yeah. And we should hit those chocks.
Yep. And that's chopped.
Money. No damage.
An aircraft piston and all of these shards sheared off the outside, and they found it in the bottom of the pan. Thing still ran fine.
Ran fine. Well, that's aluminum, and it crushed. And
Which is crazy. You'd think it would have caused like the piston to go out of balance, or that it would have caused some harmonic issue with the engine.
It's amazing. It's a testament for how kind of jacked up these old simple motors can be, and they still run.
Yeah. We need a good cheers.
For sure, man.
Cheers, buddy.
It's gonna taste so good.
Oh, it's already so good.
What a good day, man. What a great day. Thank you. Thank you, Alec.
Thank you. Hanger's closed up. And back to the barn.
All right, I'm gonna roll home to the wife.
All right, brother.
It's good, man.
Great flying with you today. That was super fun.
Thank you so much.
The hunt continues.
Yeah, that was a super fun day. We got close, but I think we did the right thing.
Hello. Great to see you, brother.
Good to see you too, Alec.
All right. See you, buddy. All right, gang. That is a wrap, and I need your help. Erik is still on the hunt for a manual transmission E46. It can be pre-facelift, it can be post-facelift, but we need to find him another E46 project. And I'll be the one doing the work in conjunction with Erik. We'll showcase everything on the channel, but he needs another E46, and today was not the day for that E46 in Sacramento. So, if you guys got any feelers out, Central California, Northern California, hell, even Southern California, let me know. We can try to make something happen with it. Maybe we can come down, shoot a video, bring the thing home, and start working on it back here in the barn. It was an epic day. Erik got to take me flying. I got controls. I got to fly a plane. I got to take off, and I got to help land it back here at home. And it was such a cool experience, just being able to get up in the air and share some of my knowledge and experience with him while going through that E46. And also, big shout out to Ethan and Mo at Number One Motorsports over in Sacramento, California. Although we didn't buy your car today, I still really appreciate your patience and allowing us to spend 3 hours picking through it. I mean, you gave us a lot of your time, and I really just want to say thank you, because that's a pretty class act from you. So if you guys are looking for a car in Sacramento, maybe stop by Number One Motorsports, see if they got something you might like. I hope you guys enjoyed, or I hope you learned something new. Hit me up with those E46 manual transmissions, and I'll see you on my next day off. Cheers.